Hello guys, I'm Mary. My husband Aidan and I were in a very happy marriage right until the day God took him away from me. He was my lifeline and my greatest support. Aidan was a husband like no other. So his unexpected death really crushed me and our daughter Sylvia. He was a doting father and together we had the perfect family. Aidan passed away after my daughter had just graduated college. Aidan was very proud of Sylvia's achievements, even when his own family dismissed them. You see, Aidan's brother Dale is actually a misogynistic man. Ever since Sylvia was little, he often made fun of us for having a daughter. He had a son who was the definition of a bully, but Dale always praised him because he was a boy. We usually ignored everything until Dale's son started to severely bully my daughter. He called her names and told her that she was useless because she was a girl. It crushed our daughter's confidence and really made her feel insecure. That was when we confronted Dale about this. Dale, as usual, dismissed his son's actions and said, "Why are you being so dramatic about this? He's just a kid. Boys will be boys, you know." That is not true. Your son is 15, Dale. He needs to know better than to be such a bully to his own cousin. Oh God, your daughter is just being a crybaby like girls are. Looks like my son was right. A weakling like her will never amount to anything. Don't you dare talk about my daughter like that. My daughter is way better than your son, who is nothing but a bully. I see where this anger's coming from, Aidan. You are just mad that I have a son while you don't. You know that your daughter is useless and a burden. My daughter is not a burden. She's the best thing that ever happened to me, and I won't have anyone say otherwise. Aidan had always been protective of Sylvia, and so was I. That day, we had a big fight with Dale, after which we were low contact. They lived in a different state, so we didn't see them often anyway. They were banned from the house, and we only talked on the phone sometimes. While I maintained my distance, Aidan remained in contact, but didn't entertain his brother's awful comments. So we were able to stay away from his awful mentality for years. Dale got back into our lives when Aidan passed away from a car accident. It happened out of the blue and it destroyed us completely. Sylvia and I had a hard time accepting what happened and moving on from it. Dale was also crushed, and we came together as a family to grieve Aidan. I won't lie, but he was genuinely crushed after his brother's death. He loved his brother after all. Anyway, Aidan's death brought us back in contact, and Dale used to check up on me and Sylvia from time to time. So my daughter and I gave him a chance to see if we could repair our relationship. Things were actually going really well until one day he came to visit me and Sylvia. It was Aidan's birthday and the first one after he was gone. So we allowed Dale to come to stay with us just so we could remember the good memories we had with my husband. Sylvia was also staying with me because she wanted to be closer to me after Aidan passed away. When Dale and I had this conversation, Sylvia was out to get groceries. Dale and I were talking about finances. Since I was a stay-at-home wife, Dale had been concerned about how I would handle everything. Surprisingly, he brought up the fact that my husband had a life insurance policy that paid me a lot of money after he passed. Dale brought up that topic and said, "So Aidan left you a hefty life insurance policy. I think it paid off pretty well." Yes, he was always worried about what would happen after he died, so he had planned well. "Yeah, Aidan had always been good with money, so what are you going to do with the life insurance money now?" "I'm actually thinking about giving Sylvia a part of the life insurance money." "What? Why would you do that?" "Well, Sylvia has been wanting to pursue a master's degree for a while now. She doesn't have enough money for that, and student loans will cripple her. She was lucky to have a college fund from my late parents, but she had to take out loans if she wanted to pursue her master's, so I've been thinking about helping her. Are you sure about that? I think you should think about this a little more. To me, it doesn't sound like a wise decision. Why would you say that? Dale, you too invested in your son's education since he didn't have a college fund. Yeah, but my son is a man. Why bother wasting your money on a girl child? She will amount to nothing anyway. This was something that I hadn't expected Dale to say at all. I had no idea why he thought I would be wasting money on Sylvia by investing in her education. Yes, my daughter could take out loans, but I didn't want that for her. I would have plenty of money left over even if I paid her tuition. So I don't know why Dale was so against it. What really caught my attention was how Dale hinted that his disapproval of my decision lies in the fact that I was investing in a girl's education and not a boy's. It was simply too bizarre for me to accept. I said, "What are you trying to say, Dale?" What I mean is that you should use your late husband's money on something that will actually benefit you. Giving your daughter money for education is just useless. How is it useless? I don't know why you're saying this. My daughter is pretty smart, and I'm sure she will do very well in her master's. Women like you will never understand the importance of managing money. This is exactly why you should listen to me and put that money into investments. You will have a good life living off of those investments. I can always try to find some work. I don't need to live a life of luxury anyway. This is about my daughter, Dale. It's about her dreams. She won't be able to pursue a master's degree if I don't help her. What on earth will she do with a master's degree anyway? She's a girl, and girls cannot make it big in this world. Look at her sitting around even with a bachelor's degree. I was pretty offended on my daughter's behalf. She didn't deserve to be criticized like that. Just because I didn't broadcast her successful career to the world, Dale thought that Sylvia was unemployed and not getting good job offers. That was ridiculous because I knew what my daughter was capable of. She wasn't taking those jobs for now because she really wanted to get a master's degree, and I was going to support her. But first I needed to destroy some false notions that Dale had about Sylvia. So I said, "My daughter isn't sitting around, Dale. She just wants to learn more." "Oh, please, Mary, don't tell me that crap story. I know that Sylvia will never have a job like my son. Girls don't have any place in high-paying jobs anyway." That is a very misogynistic thing to say, Dale. Why would you insult your own niece like that? I'm just saying things as they are, Mary. If you really want to prove yourself to be smart, you should take that money and invest it somewhere else. As for Sylvia, just ask her to trap some rich man and marry him. That's the best she can do to get to my son's level. At that point, I was extremely angry and offended by Dale's words. I wanted to defend my daughter and my gender, but didn't do that. I knew that Dale wasn't someone who would listen to me explain things to him rationally. He was truly a very small-minded man who thought women were only good for getting married and having kids. The comments he made about my daughter were just vile. It brought back a lot of negative emotions in me. I suddenly remembered why Aiden didn't want his own brother around. Dale kept on talking trash about me and my daughter. His general hatred for women was just astounding to me. I only tolerated his stupid speech because he was a guest at my husband's funeral. Plus, I knew that words wouldn't help my case, so I chose to wait for the future to show him how wrong he was about everything. I didn't bother wasting my energy on him. Instead, I held my tongue till he left the next day. Even after he was gone, he didn't forget to remind me that maybe I should make some good use of my money instead of wasting it on stupid women's impossible dreams. Yeah, those were his exact words. I didn't listen to my brother-in-law at all. Maybe some of you will think I shouldn't have spent so much money on a grown woman. But here is the thing, guys. I had always been a housewife and never had any financial independence. While that worked for me, I knew my daughter would be happier climbing higher in her career first. She was also a brilliant student, so I thought she deserved this opportunity. I'm sure my husband would have wanted it too. So I went ahead and gave Sylvia the money. My daughter actually started to cry when I told her my plans. She said, "I can't believe how much you trust my capabilities, Mom. Even after Dale told you not to do this, you still offered to pay my tuition." Wait, what? Dale told you about our discussion? Yes, Mom. He came to me and told me that I shouldn't be a greedy witch and waste Dad's money. That made me super mad, guys. The audacity of Dale really had my rage coming to a boiling point. My poor daughter was already traumatized by my husband's passing. She was still grieving and dealing with her father being gone. Dale, instead of being empathetic, was actually working on hurting Sylvia more. I was furious but kept calm because I needed to calm down my daughter, who was a crying mess. She really felt guilty for taking her father's life insurance money. So I comforted her and said, "Listen to me, Sylvia. Your father would have been happy to share his money with you. You know how much he loved you, right? He was also proud of you, Sylvia. I'm sure he would have wanted this too." But Dale said that. Don't you dare consider what Dale said, Sylvia. He's a horrible man who can't see your potential. Maybe it was because we never rubbed your achievements in his face. Anyway, his opinion doesn't matter. We will manage everything. I want you to study and get that dream job of yours, Sylvia. Thank you so much, Mom. I don't know what I would have done without you. I promise you that one day you will be able to look at Dale and tell him how wrong he was. I won't let you down. My daughter made me a promise that day. I, too, made a promise to myself. I promised that when my daughter makes it big, I won't be humble about it. I am going to rub it in Dale's face so that he can see how much he has messed up. But it was going to be a long time before that day came. Sylvia actually moved in with me to cut down on her expenses. Both of us had to get jobs to run the household. I hadn't worked a single day in my life after getting married, so it was a little difficult to get back into the workforce. But I managed to find a job and support myself. Yes, it didn't pay much, but I didn't live like a queen anyway. The house was paid off, and I had money saved for medical emergencies and such. Sylvia also worked after university and contributed to the household. Together, we had a pretty decent life. When Dale called and found out about this arrangement, he laughed and said, "You two are living proof that women are stupid. I told you to invest that money so that you can have a comfortable life." I have a pretty comfortable life, Dale. I don't think you understand that. I have no complaints about how I am right now. Oh, please, Mary. You're fooling no one like that. You had to take a minimum wage job even when you never worked a day in your life after marriage. Meanwhile, I have actually left my job because my son is giving me an allowance. I am truly blessed to have a son like him. Well, I'm pretty blessed to have a daughter like Sylvia, Dale. Good for you that your son is taking care of you. I'm happy in my life and you are happy in yours. You won't be happy for long, Mary. Looks like you'll have to work till you die. I pity you. Anyway, all the best, Mary. Let's hope you and your stupid daughter don't end up on the streets after these horrible decisions you've taken. I didn't bother to continue that conversation after hearing those comments. What was the point in arguing with him? I was happy that his son was taking care of him and giving him an allowance. He was happy with his life and I was happy with mine. But even when I was happy for him, he couldn't be happy for me. It really told me just what kind of a relationship we had. He had called to boast about his son giving him an allowance. He didn't call out of genuine care for me or my daughter. So next time onwards, I kept my head low and didn't give out too much information when he called. 2 years had passed since I offered to pay for my daughter's education. She graduated from university with a master's degree, just like she had planned. She worked so hard and completed so many good internships that she was offered a very high-paying role right after she graduated. She took the position because it was just one step closer to her goal. Sylvia was absolutely overjoyed. I attended her graduation with my sister and cried when she was handed her degree. Seeing her succeed in life really made everything worth it. Mom, guess what I found out today? What is it, Sylvia? Uncle Dale's son works at my office here. Oh my God, really? How did you know? He doesn't work directly under me because I'm several levels above him, but you can say that I am actually his boss. I saw his name pop up on the list of people I needed to talk to, and that's when I recognized him. Wow. Is he at least a nice man, or did he take after his horrible father? He is far from being nice, Mom. The company is investigating him for embezzlement. He stole from the company regularly and spent it on himself. That was something I hadn't expected to hear at all. My daughter was telling me that Dale's son was basically a thief. The man Dale compared my daughter to was an actual thief. It made me chuckle a little, actually. Dale was so proud of his son for nothing. I said to Sylvia, "That is some news, Sylvia. I guess Dale's son isn't as bright as he had made it out to be." "Nope. He's a criminal, and now he will soon lose his job." "Really? Is that what everyone had decided?" "Yes, Mom. I didn't get to vote because he is related to me, but I was asked for my opinion at the meeting, and I told them to fire him." "You made the right decision, Sylvia. Good for you not protecting a criminal just because they are family. Watch out, though, Mom. I have a feeling Dale will be having a word with you soon. You think he may want me to ask you to give his son the job back?" "Yep. He will try that for sure. Dale's son tried to get me on his side and was surprised when I recommended that he get fired. He tried to approach me later to talk, but I walked away as soon as possible." I was really surprised to hear that my nephew had been doing something illegal. I mean, I knew that his father was a problematic person, but I didn't think Dale's son would also turn out to be a thief. Looks like Dale's son was able to maintain his family and support his father only because he was stealing from the company. Who knows why he did it, though? There may be a number of different reasons. All I could do at that time was speculate. But, like my daughter, I too had a feeling Dale would show up to my house or give me a call for this. And I would be prepared to give him a piece of my mind. Dale didn't show up to my place right away. Instead, he called me first and tried to start with some small talk. I played along because I didn't want to show him my cards yet. As the small talk progressed, Dale started to stutter a bit and said, I don't know if you've heard, but your daughter is working in my son's company." "I'm pretty sure it's not your son's company. He's just an employee there, and my daughter is his boss there." "Yes, well, she made it quite big, right?" "Get to the point, Dale. I know you haven't called me to hear about my daughter. Just tell me what you want." Dale went silent, probably because he was taken aback by my directness. His poor show of wonder or astonishment did nothing to put me in a good mood. Instead, I was reminded of the time he had called my daughter useless, among other things. So my temper was starting to rise, and I didn't have time for his nonsense. When I told him to be direct, he awkwardly said, "Well, I don't know if you're aware that my son has run into some trouble at work." "I have heard of it, but I don't see what I can do about it." "The thing is, your daughter is his boss and actually has a good relationship with all the seniors there. So I was hoping she could help him out a little." "How do you think my daughter can help, Dale? She can't help out your son just because he's family. That would be very unprofessional. Plus, she didn't get to make the decision anyway." "You don't understand, Mary. My son has told me that your daughter has a very good relationship with everyone in the company. She is very well respected for her work. If she puts in a request with her superiors, they might consider giving my son a second chance. Only Sylvia has the power to save him, Mary." At that comment, I burst out laughing. My anger had gone down immediately, and I just couldn't hold my laughter. It was funny to hear Dale sound so desperate for my daughter's help. Mind you, guys, this is the same girl who he dismissed as being stupid and useless. Now he was saying that Sylvia was the only one who could help Dale's son. It was funny how fate played him. I said, "That's weird coming from you. I still remember how you said that she would not amount to anything." "Oh, that. It was such a long time ago, Mary. Let's not talk about that. Clearly I was wrong." "I don't think I can forget about that, Dale. You said some pretty big words and even filled my daughter's head with some nasty thoughts about wasting her father's money." "I made a mistake, Mary. I didn't know your daughter was so capable. I wouldn't have said those things if I had known." "That doesn't change anything, Dale. You can't change the fact that you humiliated my daughter and demeaned her. She never deserved that. However, your son deserves to be fired because he did something terrible." Dale changed his tune and sounded a little desperate now. He knew that he couldn't defend his son. There was plenty of proof that he stole money from the company he worked at. So my brother-in-law couldn't make excuses for him either. But he did try to change my mind by playing the family card. He said, "I know my son messed up, and so did I, Mary, but please, just give us a chance. He needs this job and only Sylvia can help. He is positive that his cousin can help. He even tried to talk to her, but Sylvia walked away and avoided him. Can you please talk to her, Mary?" "I don't think so, Dale. I wholeheartedly support my daughter in what she did. She has no obligation to help a criminal like your son. My daughter is actually a professional and won't jeopardize her reputation by speaking in favor of someone like your son." "This is a horrible thing to say, Mary. We are family, and your daughter is being a little witch to her cousin. You need to set her straight and teach her some family values. She should always help out her family." "Stop right there, Dale. You have no shame in insulting my daughter again. I don't care what you think, but you are not family. Someone like you will never be called our family again. I won't tell my daughter to help you and your son because none of you deserve it." I said that and hung up on Dale before he could sprout some more nonsense about family values and such. His entitled attitude made me angry again. Despite everything that happened, he still tried to criticize my daughter. He had absolutely no shame and deserved whatever was coming to him and his family. Dale's son also bullied my daughter a lot when they were younger, and that's why we stopped contact with them anyway. So I can't say Dale's son is a good man either. Besides, justice must be served, and the boy absolutely needed to be fired. Dale kept trying to reach me over the phone and even texted me from time to time. He was trying to make me feel guilty for not helping his son. He also said some crap about how family helps family and other things. It was infuriating and entertaining at the same time. Who would have known that Dale would be desperate for me and my daughter's help? I did know that my daughter would become successful and show Dale that women can excel in their careers as well. But karma came back very hard for my brother-in-law. He was in big trouble and actually ended up flying to my city to see me. A week after our phone call, Dale showed up on my doorstep looking haggard and weary. I let him in because I wasn't going to shut the door in his face. I'm not that kind of person, so I let him come inside my home. He looked really nervous and kept fidgeting. When I asked him what the matter was, he said, "You know what the matter is, Mary. My son is about to be fired. Things are really tense at home." "Ah, yes, I remember that, Dale. Your son really shouldn't have stolen from the company." "What can I say, Mary? He knows he messed up. He's really sorry about it." "I guess being sorry won't help him now." "No, being sorry won't help. He tried his best to make his bosses understand, but they're not listening to him. Sylvia is our only hope. Please tell your daughter to give my son his job back. Only Sylvia's word will save him now. I am pretty sure you said that my daughter is useless and won't amount to anything. Look what happened now, Dale. You are here begging for your son's fate, which lies in my daughter's decision. Well, let me tell you one final time now, Dale. My daughter will not help your son. But we will all become homeless now, Mary. They're threatening to sue my son for all the money. He will lose everything and we will be on the streets. That's too bad, Dale. Looks like your investments in your son didn't pay off. And now you're just suffering those consequences. We are done here, Dale. What happened to you and your family is karma. You deserve this for being such a horrible man and instigating your son against my daughter. Now you will find for yourself and no one will help you. Those were the words I said before throwing Dale out. He cried and begged me to talk to Sylvia. Dale had tried to reach her, but he had been blocked on her phone. So he came to me to try and save his family. His stupid decision to quit his job and rely on his son was costing him now. He was right in assuming that he would be brought to the streets. That's actually what ended up happening. Dale's son was kicked out of his job. The company also ended up suing him, so now he is under a lot of debt. He quickly abandoned Dale and his wife because he simply couldn't shoulder their responsibility anymore. So Dale was thrown out of their rented home because his son had stopped paying his rent. Dale actually didn't have much money for housing because he helped his son buy a house. Well, it looks like that was a waste because his son is selling the house to pay off his debts. So Dale is now left with no money and his investment in his son ended up flopping big time. I am actually living a much better life than before. My daughter had returned all the money I had spent on her education so far. Sylvia and her husband are also trying to make me quit my job. They started a retirement fund for me and said that I needed to sit back and relax once the fund was full. I am truly blessed to have such a daughter in my life. I'm sure my husband is proud of Sylvia and happy that I helped our daughter even when everyone around me was discouraging me. I didn't listen to them because I had faith in my daughter and wanted to support her as long as I could. Today, I am proud to say that my daughter has shown my stupid brother-in-law how wrong he had been about her.